Well, that's the last time I buy a milling machine from Wish.com. All right, so this is actually a model kit that I saw on eBay a couple of years ago, and it's a 1/12 scale of a milling machine, and I saw this kit on eBay a few years ago, and I'm thinking that is pretty cool. And regardless of what my friend Sean thinks, this is pretty cool. But when I saw it a few years ago, I think they were asking like close to $100 for it. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $100 for a model of a milling machine. And then I saw Blondie Hacks. If you have not seen Blondie Hacks on YouTube, check out Blondie Hacks. She's a machinist, has a machinist channel, makes all sorts of cool stuff. But Blondie Hacks did a model of a lathe from a company called PM Research. And this is not a plastic model kit. This is actually a metal model lathe that is fully functional. And if you buy this kit from PM Research, you get castings that you have to machine and bar stock that you have to machine to build this machine that actually functions. PM Research also has a horizontal milling machine and a bench grinder and a shaper and a bunch of steam engine stuff and a drill press, all like small scale that you have to like machine the castings. So Blondie Hacks did a few of them. Also Joe Pye. Joe Pye is he's a professional machinist, way above my level that I'll ever achieve. But Joe Pye did a lot of these kits. But so I went to the PM Research website, and I'm looking at all their kits, and I was really looking at that horizontal mill. I wanted the horizontal mill. And back then it was $120. And I'm thinking, I don't want to spend $120 on a project that I don't have the ability to make. Plus, back then, I didn't have a milling machine. And so I was waiting for somebody on YouTube to build a milling machine so that I could see what it would take to do it, so that I could kind of figure out if I could do it or not. And finally, this other guy, I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to say anything bad about somebody on YouTube, but some other YouTube started the milling machine, but he started on like the first piece and he screwed it up, and I don't know if he gave up on it or not. But I don't know. I kind of quit watching him because I think he made one part and he screwed up another part, and he hasn't touched it since. And then when I was at the Cabin Fever Model Engineering Expo, which I did a video on that a couple of months ago, so check out that video where there's all kinds of like model engineering stuff, engines and trains and trucks and cars and boats and live steam stuff. Well, PM Research had a booth there, and I met the guy that designs all of that stuff. So I asked him, I said, if I bought the milling machine, would I be able to do it with only a lathe? And he kind of looked at me and he goes, are you a really experienced machinist? And I said, no, I may be a step above novice. And he was like, he goes, I don't know. He goes, that would be a challenge for even a very experienced machinist. So I didn't buy that. Well, now Joe Pye is building the horizontal milling machine. So I've been following Joe Pye with his milling machine build. And now I have my little, my desktop mill that I've shown in videos before. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I will eventually get the PM Research milling machine, but now it's like $160. I should have bought it when it was $120. But then I went back on eBay and I found this again, and I saw a seller who had it offered for $45. And there was maybe, I don't know, a dozen or so of these on eBay. I got the cheapest one on eBay, and it finally arrived. I was not expecting much from this kit, but I'm very pleasantly surprised at what I found in the box. This is way more detailed, so enough rambling on. Let's see what's in the box. Instructions, obviously, very important. You read all of this before you start. And yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking, from the photos, this might just be information about the actual machine, maybe? I don't know. I have no clue what any of that says. And then some more it's talking about Well, here there's some English: copy milling, horizontal milling. Yeah, this has nothing to do with this kit, I don't think. I mean, obviously it doesn't work. It doesn't operate. It's just plastic. But here's a cross-sectional view of the kit with all the internal workings in it. And then we can see all the parts and pieces here. And when we start getting into the instructions, and here's step 1 right here. Now it does tell us, paint all the parts the body color except other color is specified. Now, as far as body color, I've been going back and forth with the body color. When you look at the box artwork, it's like a gray. This looks like the same kind of gray that I painted my lathe, which is this right here. This is what I painted my lathe with, and it's simply called gloss machinery gray. So my first thought was, well, I'm going to paint it the same color as my lathe. I mean, that'd be pretty cool if it matched my lathe color-wise. So I was going to use this, but when you look at the instructions on the back, where it gives you all the different paint, here's your paint colors here. They call for this green color or this air superiority blue. So they have you use blue or green. Well, they're calling it blue-gray or yellow-green. And I saw another image. I thought it was a picture on the box, but it's not. I saw another image. I think it was probably on the eBay listing. There was another image where they showed 3 of these side by side. One was green, one was blue, and one was gray. And when I look up the actual milling machine, like not the kit, but the real milling machine, most of them are that green color, and then a few blue ones and maybe 1 or 2 gray ones. So I think gray is an okay color, I think. But I've been going back and forth with the color, but right now I'm leaning towards the machinery gray. I think that would be fine. But just looking at the instructions, there are actual threaded rods that you put the hand wheels on. It appears to me, from looking at the instructions, like you turn the hand wheels and the bed actually moves. So yeah, obviously it doesn't function. The motor doesn't turn. You can't do any machining on it, but it does have some movable features, which is way more than I expected when I got the kit. Looks like there's another threaded rod in here for the head of it. There's your main spindle. A lot of super nice details. They give you all the painting as you go, the decals as you go. And yeah, I cannot wait to get started on this. Now, as far as paint, I do have, I have silver, I think that's just steel. Yeah, this one is flat steel. I also have silver, I have aluminum, I have brass. I do not have cast iron. They do make a cast iron color. I need to get to my hobby shop and buy some more metallic colors because I would like for that to be painted a cast iron color. So I don't want to start too much yet because I want to be able to paint as I go. But this thing is just, I mean, look, you have all the internals here. Access panels you can open up and see all the internal stuff. This is just super cool. Sean, it's cool. Let's take a look at the parts. Open up some of these bags here. And honestly, when I first ordered this, you know, the PM Research models are 1/12 scale. This is 1/12 scale. Here's the decals, or for our Canadian friends, the Deckels. But there's our decals that go on it. Decals is correct, by the way. We have a piece here. These are the various threaded rods and gears for the movable features and functions. And here are some parts. Now, as I was saying, when I first ordered this, my first thought was to just use this as blueprints to machine a copy out of aluminum, because those PM Research kits are aluminum. And then I see these tiny little parts like that, and I'm like, yeah, no. I think the PM Research models are a little bit bigger than that. I hope. Maybe they're not. I don't know. That seems really tiny for me to machine on my lathe or milling machine. But yeah, got some sprockets and chain here. Obviously, you know, static. But a lot of cool small details. We'll take a look in the other bag here. Of course, there's the base part, or the, not the base, but there's the base. There's your chip collection skirt. Looks like the head here. And then we have the two pieces that make up the main body, each side of the main body. Of course, the ends of the motor. Very, very cool stuff. I am really looking forward to getting started on this kit. And that's going to be another video. I basically, for now, I just wanted to introduce this to you guys, show you guys that this is a thing that you can get and how cool it is. Because I tell you, the first time I saw this, when it was like close to $100, if I would have seen everything that was in the box and how detailed it is, I probably would have bought it for $100, probably. I'm glad I didn't. Glad I waited. But hopefully you got something out of this video here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And we will be back at a later time to actually start this build. Now, this will be just a shorter, simple build. I've got a couple of, I don't want to say more important, but I've got a couple of much larger builds in way. I've got a 1/8 scale Jaguar that's coming along very, very slowly, but good. And I've got a 1/4 scale Star Wars speeder bike that, again, is coming along very nicely, but taking longer than I thought. So typically what I do is, while I'm working on two larger main projects, I'll squeeze in a simple, like a weekend project. This will probably be more than a weekend project. So I'll do a couple of smaller, simpler builds between breaks on my larger builds. So yeah, I'm going to get back to probably the speeder bike and then the Jaguar, and then maybe we'll start on this. But until then, as always, thanks for watching.